Okay, so apparently using AI tools to help make videos means your channel deserves to get demonetized. At least, that's what some people in this space would love for you to believe. But here's the thing, and I want to be really clear about this. That is not what YouTube's policy says. Not even close. And I have the receipts, directly from YouTube's own documentation and some of the biggest tech outlets covering this stuff. So today, we're going to do something radical. We're going to actually read the policy together, and we're going to talk about what YouTube is actually targeting, what's completely fine, and why some of the takes flying around online about AI and monetization are, how do I put this nicely, not grounded in reality. Grab a drink, let's get into it. Let's start at the beginning. In July 2025, YouTube updated its YouTube Partner Program monetization policies. And if you were anywhere near creator spaces when this dropped, you probably saw a lot of people losing their minds about it. AI is banned. YouTube is coming for everyone who uses AI. Your channel is done. Yeah, none of that is accurate. Here's what YouTube actually said, and I want to read this carefully because the exact wording matters. YouTube's own policy page states, and this is a direct quote from their documentation, that on July 15th, 2025, they made, and I quote, a minor update to their repetitious content policy. The update renamed it from repetitious content to inauthentic content, and clarified that this includes content that is repetitive or mass-produced. That's it. That was the update. TechCrunch covered this and noted that YouTube's creator liaison, Renee Ritchie, described it publicly as a minor update, designed to better identify when content is mass-produced or repetitive, and that this type of content has been ineligible for monetization for years. It wasn't new. The language just got clearer. Now, why did they need to clarify? Because the scale of the problem got bigger. AI tools made it easier than ever to flood the platform with low-effort, templated, repetitive content. YouTube needed the policy language to catch up to that reality. But, and this is important, clarifying language is not the same as banning a category of content. In fact, YouTube's own policy page explicitly states, there is no change to our reused content policy, which reviews content like commentary, clips, compilations, and reaction videos. Read that again. Commentary, clips, compilations, reaction videos. Unchanged. So if your channel is built around any of those formats, and a lot of drama and true crime commentary channels are, this update was not aimed at you. All right, so what is this policy actually targeting? Because inauthentic content sounds vague, and vague language makes people nervous. Let's break it down with real examples. TechCrunch reported on some of the specific cases that drove this policy update. A true crime channel with over 83,000 subscribers was removed entirely, not demonetized, removed, after posting over 150 videos narrating AI-generated murder stories presented as real fact. One of those videos falsely described a crime in Colorado, and caused enough public confusion that local media had to investigate. That's not a creator who used AI to help write a script. That's a channel that was AI. No human perspective, no original insight, just generated content, published at scale, designed to look real. Another example. NBC News uncovered coordinated networks of channels spreading AI-generated fake news about real public figures. using deepfake images and robotic narration purely to generate ad revenue. Several of those channels were demonetized or terminated. The Flicky breakdown of this policy put it simply. The update was a direct response to the growing wave of AI slop, a term that's now widely used to describe low-quality, mass-produced, AI-generated content flooding the platform. Think slideshow videos with robotic narration, misleading news clips with AI avatars, clickbait channels that repeat the exact same format endlessly, hundreds of times with zero human input. That is what's being targeted. Notice what is not on that list. Creators who use AI tools to help research. Creators who use AI to help draft or structure a script. Creators who use editing software, graphics tools, or any form of production assistance, AI-powered or otherwise. That's not what this is about. This is where I think a lot of the confusion, and frankly, some of the deliberate misrepresentation comes in. So let's be really precise here. There is a meaningful difference between using AI as a tool and AI being the creator. Supertone's breakdown of the policy states it clearly. Using AI doesn't automatically restrict your monetization. The key is content originality. Content that reflects the creator's unique ideas won't be a problem, even if it's created using AI tools. Flicky's analysis echoed the same thing. You can use AI on YouTube, but it must be part of a creative process, not the entire process. Think of AI as an assistant, not the creator. And here's the really important part. YouTube itself uses AI tools and offers them to creators. Autodub, DreamScreen. These are YouTube's own AI-powered features. The platform is not anti-AI. It is anti-spam. YouTube's creator liaison was actually quoted explaining that reused content, clips, commentary, reactions, can continue to be monetized if you've added significant original commentary, modifications, or educational or entertainment value. So let's make this concrete. What does human input actually look like in practice? It looks like having a perspective, editing your own footage, choosing what to include and what to cut, writing in your own voice, even if you got help structuring it, responding to events in real time, building a narrative that reflects your actual knowledge of a topic, showing your face, using your voice, or both, engaging with your community. None of that disappears because you used an AI tool somewhere in the process. A writer who uses spell check is still the author of their work. A filmmaker who uses editing software is still the director of their film. A creator who uses AI assistance is still the creator of their content, as long as the creative vision, the judgment, and the human perspective are theirs. The standard isn't, did AI touch this? The standard is this original, authentic, and does it add value? Let's talk about who should genuinely be worried, because there are channels that need to rethink their approach under these updated policies, and it's worth knowing what that actually looks like. Cinity's coverage noted that channels posting large volumes of AI-generated content without substantial human curation or transformation may see monetization revoked under the updated YPP guidelines. The key phrases there are large volumes, without substantial human curation, and without transformation. It's not one element, it's the combination. Typecast's breakdown listed the specific content types being flagged: repetitive templated slideshows with synthetic narration, bulk-generated AI voiceovers with minimal editing, reused content that lacks transformation or added context. Notice the pattern. These are all about volume without value. A single video with AI assistance and genuine human perspective? Not the target. 100 nearly identical videos pumped out with no human steering? That's exactly the target. And for true crime specifically, because this is a format that got called out, the examples that drew YouTube's attention were channels generating fictional crime stories and presenting them as real. That's not a documentary format problem. That's a deception and misinformation problem on top of the automation problem. If you're doing true crime commentary, where you are analyzing real, documented cases, sharing your actual perspective, and making editorial choices about what to cover and how, that is not in the same universe as what got those channels removed. All right, let's close with something actually useful. Because knowing what the policy targets is only half the equation. The other half is knowing how to make sure your channel is clearly on the right side of it, not just in practice, but in how it reads to anyone looking at it. Number 1, your human fingerprint should be visible. This sounds obvious, but it's worth saying. Your specific takes, your editing choices, your examples, your community context. These are the things that differentiate your content from generated content. Lean into them. Make them prominent. The more your content sounds and feels like you, the clearer it is that a human made it. Number 2, disclose where it makes sense. YouTube has a disclosure requirement for realistic AI-generated content, specifically synthetic faces, voices, or footage that could be mistaken for real. If your content includes that, disclose it. But beyond the technical requirement, transparency is just good practice. A line in your description like, AI tools used for research and scripting assistance, edited and produced by me, costs you nothing and signals to YouTube and your audience that you're operating in good faith. Number 3, understand what appeals look like. If a video ever gets flagged incorrectly, and it does happen, you have the right to appeal. Typecast's breakdown noted that creators can contest with clear reasoning when flagged. Document your process. Keep records of your editing work, your source material, your drafts. Not because you expect to need it, but because having it makes an appeal straightforward. Number 4, don't let someone else's bad faith take shape how you describe your own work. If someone tells an audience that your channel is all AI when it isn't, that's a claim about your content, not a YouTube policy violation. YouTube reviews channels based on the actual content, not based on what someone in the comments or another creator's stream says about you. One accusation does not trigger a YouTube audit. The platform uses machine detection, pattern analysis, and human review, not community reports from people with a personal agenda. YouTube's detection looks at things like duplicated footage, robotic cadence, repeated templates, upload volume, and content patterns. A channel with varied content, original voiceover, edited clips, and an identifiable human perspective is not going to register as a spam operation, period. So, let's recap. YouTube updated its monetization policy in July 2025. The update renamed repetitious content to inauthentic content and clarified what that means in an AI-driven world. It explicitly did not change the rules for commentary, clips, reactions, or compilations. It is targeting mass-produced, templated, deceptive AI-generated spam, not creators who use AI as one tool among many. Using AI to help research, script, design graphics, or streamline your workflow? Completely fine, and widely practiced by creators at every level of the platform. What's not fine is outsourcing your entire creative existence to automation, and then collecting ad revenue on the output. That's it. That's the line. If your content has your voice, your perspective, your editorial choices, and your production work in it, you're not what this policy is about. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. As always, read the actual policy. Check the actual sources. Don't take anyone's word for it, including mine. I've linked everything I referenced in the description below.